Is going on, everybody? How about them Giants? I still have no voice, as you guys can tell. I'm still recovering from that insane Sunday. It was an absolute movie, and we got to experience it with a lot of you guys. But welcome in to the show, Young Guns Podcast, the rebooted episode 6, coming in talking about this Giants game, this crazy comeback against the Arizona Cardinals, and then obviously we'll talk more in depth about that, and then what's going on in this week. We got some injuries to talk about. We got previewing the Niners and everything. So we got a lot to talk about today. Real quick, we want to say what's up to the chat. Daniel, Yuvraj, what's going on, guys? Anybody else in here? Make sure you guys make yourself known in the comments. Well, Kush, how you feeling, bro?
Whew. Yeah. Listen, you guys saw, you just saw a live reaction to that, man. I was ready to give up at halftime.
Right.
And I stuck it through. And it's like, as we got to 14, we used the analogy of cooking, but we're like, yo. Until they tie it, they're not cooking. The stove was on. Okay, they
Right.
added some grease. They sprinkled some ingredients. But until they tied it, they weren't cooking. That was simultaneously one of the best games I've ever watched because it's the greatest comeback in the franchise history, and also
One of the
simultaneously
worst.
one of the worst I've ever watched because you are at a point where in the season where you're down 60-0, and we really look like a joke of ourselves. Like, not even people that didn't believe in the Giants didn't think they were going to be this bad, bro.
Right.
Like, that's the crazy part. Not even people that didn't believe in the Giants didn't think it was this part. You had me and KB arguing about what was worse, 2017 or this on stream, bro. That's how bad it got.
Oh
Like,
God.
I did not expect our team to be this trash. They saved the season for a very brief moment. The season ain't saved yet, guys. Let's keep it real. They saved it for a very brief moment, and they needed to do
On
that
life
to even
support.
stay alive.
It's on life support right
It's on life support. I don't think people realize how bad that 40-0 loss to Dallas is, bro. Because it's not just that we lost, it's that we lost 40-0, and it really exposed how incomplete this team is.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna lose to the 49ers unless a miracle happens. And because primarily of all the injuries we have out, that's gonna be a whole conversation in the show later on. And then it's like you're praying that we're 2-2 by week 4 and the schedule, it just continues to be difficult. If we lost close to Dallas, we wouldn't be worrying about this. Like, that's how much that Dallas loss matters.
Exactly. What really bothers me is that carrying over from week 1, we were down 20-0 at halftime in the next game. Like, we literally had 60 points scored on us before we even scored anything, and it was 6 quarters. So it's like a game and a half for us to actually get something going. So that's something that, in my
And it's
honest,
still that at one point we were down 20-0 to the Cardinals, man. It's like that
yeah.
shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, and obviously, it's not as bad. We can smile now, right? Obviously, because we won the game. You know what's crazy? Even though we came back in that second half, if we didn't actually finish it off and win the game, I would have I would even I would still be pissed off. Like, I would still be saying this is the worst team in history, and we're number 1 overall pick and stuff like that. It was that field goal that was the difference. It was them actually finishing off the game. Because if they would have lost like 28-27, I would have still said, even though they came, that's a great comeback, right? To score 27 points in one half, after being outscored 20 nothing. I would have still been outraged, but it's crazy how much a couple of points makes a difference, and when they actually finish off the game. Um, but yeah, as far as how the Giants, first of all, let's throw up the banner here. Um, as far as this game in particular, I don't. I'm not coming away from this game any more confident in this team, even though they made the comeback. Like, we can talk about the greatness, the greatest comeback in franchise history. We mentioned that a little bit.
Which
And
I still, by the way, I still need confirmation if that was the greatest blowout in franchise history, week 1. Like, I'm pretty sure it was.
oh yeah, 40-0. Yeah, that's got to, like, as far as point differential wise, probably, because I know we lost to the Rams a couple of years ago. I think that was 2016. It's like 51 to
2017. Yeah,
yeah.
it was 50 something to very low double digits or single digits.
Yeah, I know that was an ass whooping. But as
Let me
far
look
as
it up right now, actually.
yeah, go
Giants
ahead.
versus Rams 2017. Because that was
It was like
terrible. Oh, yeah,
51 something.
51 to 17. So what's
Yeah,
51 minus 17? That's been 21 by accident. 34. So it was worse than the Rams.
yeah, okay, yeah, worse than the Ray. Yeah, it's got to be the worst ass
It
beating in
has to be the
franchise
worst.
history.
Well, go ahead. I just want to bring that up. Like, from worst to best, like, go ahead.
Yeah, this game, as far as yeah, like I said, um, I don't come out of this game any more confident in this team, even though they made that historic comeback. Like it's a little bit bittersweet because we did come back, we did like make history or whatever, and it was an amazing game to watch. But it was the Cardinals. Like this is literally like consent like the consensus of the NFL world has this team as like the consensus number one overall pick this year, and it's gonna be ass. They're missing Kyler Murray. There was no Buda Baker. They're in complete franchise resetting mode. And it took a pretty much an act of God for us to go ahead and finish out that game and beat the Cardinals and squeak out with a win. And obviously, the Week 1 game doesn't, it doesn't help either. So I don't as far as like if you want to put the Giants on the power rankings, I don't think they move up or down in my honest opinion. I don't think they move
I saw
up.
people I saw people angry that I think it was the NFL power rankings had us at 28. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not
I don't
mad
think that's far.
until
Yeah.
until further notice. We'll still have the worst performance so far in the NFL season with that
Yeah.
40-0 loss. Like, until we and I don't know why fans are mad as this. It's just logical. Until we beat a good team convincingly, we
Mhm.
shouldn't move up in those things. Not even that those things matter,
CJ,
bro.
what
Like,
up,
just win your
CJ?
games, right? Like, KB, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, just win your games. Not that the power rankings matter, but just speak on them. Like, that's how it should be.
Yeah, just winning. Yeah, power rankings don't matter, but to the fans, we kind of like look at it, but obviously the players probably don't. They don't really care about that. But a lot of the power rankings in the week 0 power rankings, I've seen the Giants like just outside the top 10, like 12th or something like that. And now I'm seeing them around like 14, 15 or something like that, which is kind of weird to me because we got shellacked by the Cowboys. But then yeah, the NFL power ranking put us all the way down to 28, and that's fair. Like that's fair. If you look at without the blue lens, if you just straight up look at this Giants team, we're not there yet. We have the talent. I promise you, this is the most talented Giants team we've had in a very long time. They're just not putting it together. And no matter how good your team looks on paper, if they're playing like ass, they deserve to be graded as such. I mean, to be honest with you, they just got to get it together. No doubt in my mind, I believe this team has potential to be a top 10 team in the league and, make the playoffs and actually make some sort of a run like we did last year, but maybe even better. No doubt in my mind, I think they can do that, but they're not there yet. Like they're not playing up to that level yet. And until I see that is when I'll have more confidence in this team. But we'll talk more about the 49ers game after later on towards the end. So
Yeah.
we don't really need to talk about it now. But this game in particular, man, what jumped out at you the most? I mean, positive or negative, you just let me know what is the biggest thing you took out of this game?
Um, I'll start off with a tweet that I made that didn't necessarily blew up, but it got a good amount of likes, and yeah, I got
The
people,
Josh Duty one.
yeah, kind of taking it out of
I like
context.
that
Well,
one.
at the
Yeah.
same time, it was the truth. And I'll preface this by saying this, KB. For both of the people I'm about to talk about, you guys know I'm going to talk about Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal. For both of them,
Yeah.
yes, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and not give them until the end of year 3, which is what I say for every new player in the NFL. Man, give them 3 years to see who they really are. We're not even in the middle of year 2 yet. We're at the beginning of year 2. We'll see how it goes. That being said, considering where these guys were taken, 5th and 7th overall, and considering how they performed at college and where they were ranked nationally all the way back in high school,
Mhm.
these guys were 5-star recruits out of high school, 5-star recruits out of college.
Insane.
I'm allowed to criticize and be sad and be mad and angry and frustrated with their performance because both of them
Watch
are
your mouth,
playing
CJ.
both of them are playing like 5th and 6th and 7th round picks, not the 5th and 7th overall pick. And especially when you look at their draft mates at the same position who had the same hype, like it's very similar situations. Aiden Hutchinson,
Hutch,
Kayvon
yeah.
Thibodeau. performing way better, way more effective on the field as an edge rusher. You look at
I would have killed for Josh. Oh my
Charles
god.
Cross and Evan
Yeah.
Neal.
Yeah.
Very same
Yeah.
situation coming out of college, but almost unanimously Neal was ahead of Cross, and Cross looks way better. So it's like even though I'm gonna give them till the end of year 3, I still got the right to criticize and be frustrated with their performance because guess what? They look bad out there. I'm gonna start off with Evan Neal. He looked better than he did in week 1, but week 1 he just
Yeah.
got a slacking. I don't know if he's never gonna be able to be good against Dallas. Andrew Thomas is able to be good against Dallas, and I say that because Dallas truly does have one of the better defenses this year, and clearly they have one of the best pass rushes. But Andrew Thomas, even injured, looked good. And Andrew Thomas, we've seen what he does against Dallas. He's already proven. Evan Neal looked terrible. He looked like
Alex, what's up,
a
man?
lost boy, and his feet always look
What
so
up?
slow, KB. I think that's why most people always say, and you'll expand
Yes.
upon this when I have the mic over you. Most people always say, yo, maybe just kick him into guard, bro. Because his
Mm.
feet is way too slow to really operate at a tackle at the NFL level. But he did look better against the Cardinals. That's not saying much, though, considering what I just said. And he still didn't look like the best tackle out there. Our best tackle out there was Josh Azudu, who I'm a fan of, by the way. If you guys remember last year, I was a big hype man of him, but as a guard.
Yeah.
I know he's very versatile at the college level at North Carolina, or UNC, I should say, not North Carolina, at UNC. Um, but they put him
You
out
said
there
North
when he
Carolina?
was. It's still, yeah. I guess I'm used to seeing UNC. That's why
Oh,
they put him out there at tackle this week because Andrew Thomas is down, where he looked better at tackle than he did at guard, which is crazy.
yeah.
You think about that for a
He
second.
he was
He not only
alright.
did he
Yeah.
not only did he look better than Evan Neal, in my opinion,
Yeah, he did.
which he did. I don't feel like that's an exaggeration. But he looked better at tackle than he did at guard. The reason I say that is because I feel like Bredesen is better at guard than him, and I feel
Alright,
like
hey, Rob,
maybe
my boy Rob in
what
here.
up, Rob? And I feel like maybe they'll explore McKeithen at right guard. And I really wouldn't be opposed to kicking Josh Azudu to right tackle if Neal continues to struggle.
Yeah, I
That's
can't
the
wait. I
big
can't wait.
caveat.
Yeah, I'm
That's a
expecting
big
that.
caveat. If he continues to struggle, eh, given what Josh Judy showed us, and if the coaches think is the right decision, you probably should go ahead and maybe bench Neal, have the UNC boys hold down the fort on the right side, and maybe see how that goes. If it goes well, then great. Um, have Bredesen at left and have Azudu at right. You know what I'm saying? And then you have somebody that looks to be really good in Marcus McKeithen, who I didn't even talk about here, but he held his own at right guard. He wasn't perfect, but he was good at right guard. And I think in the light, in the darkness of me thinking our offensive line is bad, we have no depth. These two UNC guys kind of really came up and showed me maybe we can move this around somehow. Go ahead, KB. Which whatever point you want to jump off of, jump off of.
Yeah, I can't wait. As far as the offensive line goes, and let's start off first with Josh Azudu. Azudu, to me, obviously, he looked better than Evan Neal. He did. And especially playing left tackle as well. He looked better, but in my opinion, he still looked like a guard out there playing tackle. In my opinion, I don't think he's a future at a tackle position. I think he's going to be a good, like David Deal type guy where you're going to put him at every position. He's just going to fill in those holes and do well. I still think he's projected. I still think that he is a guard at the end of the day, but he played well at tackle, and I am not opposed to trying him out at right tackle because, like I said, this is not a rebuilding team. We are trying to win games. I don't care if you're a 7th overall pick and we invested that 7th overall pick in you. If you're garbage and somebody's playing better than you are going to play over that said person. Same thing why Trey Hawkins is starting now. If you think if this was a rebuilding team, they're gonna put Trey Hawkins to start. No, they would have benched his ass because he's a 6th round pick, and they would have had some weird free agent go ahead and take the spot. The reason why we're gonna throw our best guys out there. If Evan Neal's not one of those best guys, and Josh Azudu proves that he is, he's probably gonna play over Evan Neal. Now, as far as kicking Evan Neal to guard, I think that may be an option as well. Watching Evan Neal, his feet, his how slow he is getting off that off the line. He actually looked a lot better with his kick sliding this week on film than last week, but still was just not getting there fast enough, and that obviously shows a lot. So I wouldn't be opposed. You know what's crazy? When Evan Neal was coming out in that draft, people were saying that he's huge, he's strong, athletic, and he can, he's very strong. Yeah, he's very strong. He can move into guard. I've heard people say that during draft time. Now, I've always looked at him as a tackle, but maybe the best position is guard. We've seen tackles in the past rejuvenate their careers, or for lack of a better word, just have a better career
Let's
at a
just use
different
our own
position.
guy, Eric Flowers,
Eric
that moved to
Flowers,
guard.
who this organization, the fans most especially, were pounding the table for Eric Flowers to move to guard. Now, we never
We
did it.
never tried it.
We never did it. But the moment he was shipped out of here, I think he went to Jacksonville first. Then he went to Miami and then Washington or something like that. However, it was, he played guard for all of those teams and was pretty damn decent, and even earned himself a pretty decent contract for himself. Okay. I feel like we have to do that with Evan Neal. I know we invested in a pick for a right tackle, but hey, it's better at getting a good guard than a terrible tackle. So let's just see what we can do there. Another thing I want to mention: Marcus McKeithen. I loved him. I loved Marcus McKeithen. He's like, bro, this is his rookie year pretty much. This was his first
Yeah, he
game.
didn't really have any game experience
This was
at
his
the NFL
first
level.
game ever, and dude played especially in the run. Obviously, he's a big boy. All right, we're talking like 340 pounds, something around that range, maybe more. He is huge. He is a people mover. And when you saw him doing combo blocks with John Michael Schmitz, oh my God, they were moving people out the way. They were absolutely moving people out the way. I think he needs to get a little bit better at getting off that combo block and picking up the next block on the second level, but I have full confidence that he may, learn to do that, because this was his first game. This is his first time ever in NFL action in a regular season game. I think. I don't think he played in week one. Um, but I'm really, I guess, optimistic about Marcus McKeithen. I think he may wind up keeping that job there. We're gonna see what happens with Mark McGlowinski, man. And I don't think Bredesen's not gonna play. He's already out. We'll talk about injuries later. I have
Yeah.
a banner for
But
that.
no, to continue with the O-line, you said
Yeah.
McKeithen I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps it either, but I guess then the question becomes who gets kicked to the bench at left guard, Bredesen or Zoo? We know
Yeah,
Bredesen is
that's
out
gonna
with a
be interesting.
concussion, but Bredesen has basically consistently beaten Azudu out for the job, both last year and this year.
Well, like I said, you could see that the Giants are not playing games. They paid Mark Lewinsky a good sum of money and they benched him, okay, for a fifth round draft pick who's never played before. So you can tell that they trying to find ways to win. They don't care what they invested in you. If you're not playing up to that standard, they're just gonna bench you. So in my honest opinion, what's going to happen with Josh Azudu when Ben Bredesen comes back? I think Josh Azudu's kicking the right tackle. I think they're going to bench Evan Neal if he keeps playing the way he is. And on top of that, I think it's inevitable. As much as we may want to be optimistic about Evan Neal, he's about to go up against Nick Bosa and one of the best front sevens in the NFL. There is no way he's going to come out of there looking good. So I think my prediction, week 4 against Seattle Monday night, another primetime game, which is insane. Why the hell we got all these primetime games so early?
Don't we have
Um,
4 in the first 6 weeks, which is the most in the
yeah,
NFL?
yeah, and I think after that, that's it. No more prime time. So it's like ridiculous. I don't know. And
By the way,
the
I don't
Giants always
know.
start slow.
Yeah, I don't know if
Uh,
you saw the line. Also, R. Stapleton, he put out his starting lineup prediction for the O line because obviously Thomas is ruled out again, and he has basically the line that finished last Sunday's game, which is Josh Azudu at left tackle, Mark Lewinsky at left guard, JMS at center, Marcus McKeithen at right guard, and Evan Neal at right tackle. That sounds about right.
yeah, who else they're gonna put there? We don't
Yeah,
have anybody else.
I
Do we
think that
have Who's our
I
our
get I
backup
you
offensive
know what's
lineman?
so funny? You know what's so funny? I guess that goes
Lemieux.
back to my original point. Yeah, we still don't have depth on this line, bro, because
Uh,
who's actually going in if
we
somebody
brought
gets
in
down?
Justin Pugh finally. I was preaching the freaking, because he's coming off a torn ACL, so I can
Justin
understand.
Pugh was basically begging to come back to the Giants too,
Yeah,
man, on
yeah.
Twitter.
After he talked shit about the Giants, and now he wants to come back. Um, but yeah. Oh, Johnny Munoz. What's up, my friend? He says, "You think the Giants have a chance against the 49ers?"
Yes.
Um,
We'll get more into it when we get
yeah, we're
there,
gonna
but
we're
I
gonna
will
have a
answer
preview.
yes.
We will. We will talk about it. I promise.
We will get back to it.
That's a little down the line.
But
Um,
then I guess going back to the original question, and I guess I'm not sure if you finished Azudu versus Neil. You said you'd be open to it.
I think
And
it's
then
gonna
my other
happen.
person, the other person I was gonna talk about was Kayvon because you asked for my biggest takeaways, and those two immediately pop in my head. I did went over the whole spiel with them.
Mm.
Same thing with Kayvon. I'm gonna give him, of course, I'm gonna give him until the end of his third year before I feel like we could really get a good sample size of what kind of player he is. I could still be frustrated with him, and I recognize because he did come out and say fans boom whatever. I'm gonna talk about that later, but he also said you got to recognize what I was asked to do on those plays, and I'm like, you're right. When you go back and look at it, he was asked to drop back. He was asked to be on the backside of those plays, so he didn't necessarily have a chance to rush on those plays, but then like half or more than half of the game is you rushing straight up as well, and like you kind of just you didn't
Uh,
win.
there's just no way that Wink Martindale literally for like 2 whole games says, "Hey, I want you to play contain and don't worry about sacks." Like, bro, you are the best pass rusher on this team, and you're telling me that they're just worried about the outside run? Like, bro, we still got killed with the outside run last week. What are you talking about? Freaking Nick Chubb out there, James Conner, went out there and killed us, man. No matter where we lined up at. So, I really don't. I don't find that as an excuse. I know that there are different game plans every week, but I expect on run packages that you're not even probably going to be on the field half the time. That's Jahad Ward and O'Shane Zimmer. That's what they usually do. They'll put in those
I will
guys that are
say
bigger
the
edge rushers.
nicknames for Kayvon are both out of pocket and hilarious. People calling him a glorified Jihad Ward, and I've seen
That's
Tubby Doe.
hilarious.
Um,
Tubby Doe. Oh my
but
God.
I will say this is another tweet I made. I was like, as much as I'm frustrated with him, I'm gonna let him rock, just like I'm gonna let Evan Neal rock. I don't think we're doing both of these guys any favors. They're still very young. They're basically still rookies. They haven't really been halfway through their sophomore year yet. We got to realize as fans how much getting in their head is a real thing because we've ran players out of town before. We
Yeah.
ran we
Evan
ran
Ingram.
Evan Ingram out of town, who literally everybody with common sense realized in like the last 2 years he just needed to change the scenery. He was going to be good. He's one of the best tight ends in the league in Jacksonville because he had that change of scenery. To a certain extent, we ran Ira Flowers out of town. There was bad blood from both sides there. We definitely, to a certain extent,
It was
ran
bad with Eric
Odell out of
Flowers.
town.
He had like permanently disabled all his comments and every social media that he had.
Yeah. So it's like we got to realize we got to chill on these guys because they're still very young too. It's not like they're veterans coming in, and you could do the same thing with two promising young players. So even though we're frustrated, chill out, or you're actually gonna make it be worse. Like we got to realize as fans in social media age that you could make it way worse than it actually is.
Right. I agree. I agree. Even though I know I'm part of the problem because I'll rail on players as well. At the end of the day, especially at the stadium, this is a hot take. I don't think it's right that we boo our players at the stadium. Like not boo the team. You could boo the team as a whole. They're playing like ass. It's halftime. You go boo. You guys are sucking right now. That's fine. I don't like when Kenny Galladay, like every time he went out to yeah, we ran Kenny Galladay out of here too. He was asked, but um every time he dropped the ball, the whole stadium erupted and booed him. What do you think his mindset is going into the next play? Damn, I'm gonna drop this ball. They're gonna boo me again. Like I don't know, man. People are gotta realize we're humans at the end of the day, bro. And honestly, football is a bunch of kids, bro. Bro, it's a bunch of people in their mid-20s. I'm in my mid-20s. Okay, it's just a bunch of 20-year-olds running around and some 30-year-olds too, but mostly 20-year-olds out there on the field. So they obviously don't have all the mature mindset. They're not built for that. They just play football. But meet the Mets. What's going on, bro? Long time no see you, brother.
How you doing, man?
But
Um, but
but
yeah, no,
yeah,
going back to that, it's like I basically took away that these guys are struggling and they need to do better because they should do better considering who they are, where they were taking. Let's not rag on them too much. A little bit,
yeah.
a little bit two-sided, but yeah, Renee, I think you're looking for traumatized, but maybe we are, maybe we aren't. I think I'm just being realistic.
Here's what I think. I'm a Uno reverse card you, and I say you're drinking the Kool-Aid too much on this Cardinals win to think that we're gonna beat the Niners. I We're gonna talk about that later. But that being said, I mean,
Well, no, what was your biggest takeaways? I gave my two biggest.
my biggest takeaway is
Is
we
it? Are
can
we not
ju-
going to talk about Brian Dable calling plays?
Yeah,
This
we're
is
gonna talk about that.
technically in this. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wait, that's its own topic. You're
Yeah,
right.
I
You're
got my own
right.
topic for that. Don't worry about that, man.
Let's do Jalen Hyatt for them then. Take a big takeaway, Jalen Hyatt.
Jalen High, yeah, he's a big part of the offense, but my biggest takeaway would probably be like this team has the potential to be one of the worst teams in the NFL and one of the best. To my opinion. I think our um I guess range of how good that we are going to be this season is probably most up in the air than any team in the NFL right now. There is not going to be another Jekyll and Hyde team as bad as the Giants are. Like there we literally played 6 quarters of terrible football and then 2 quarters of amazing football where we look like a top 10 team no matter what opponent they are. That's what's really scaring me for this Giants team is I do take away, that's what I take away from them. And it's nothing really definitive. I really love how they fought though. I really love the heart that they had because you're down by any score against any team. You kind of get demoralized and you're like, damn, we lost. But in halftime, like props to them down 20 nothing to say like screw that. We're gonna win. Speaking of that, I made a little something that I just show you guys because we were hype.
Oh.
What if we have that kind of attitude? The cause repossessed. Nobody believes in you. You lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
I don't know if it showed up blurry for you guys, but it showed up blurry on the preview screen. But
Yo, listen, bro, that was awesome. You need to do. I retweeted. I was like, you got to do that either for like mid-season when we're on the bye week for the season, or the whole season, or every game if you got time. You got to do that more for the season,
yeah,
yo.
I freaking it took me longer than I had. I used 2 programs. I used Sony and then I used CapCut too. So it's freaking annoying. And I'm trying to refine my game because I'm not even. It was decent. It was decent, but I'm trying to make it a lot better. But yeah, yeah, bro. That's the fight. That's the fight until I win. I love that. I love that. Yeah, but like I said, I love the fight that the Giants had. Like I said, down 20 nothing, bro. To go out there and win the game is insane to me. So no matter what team it is, but that's kind of what I take away from the team. But let's talk about the defense a little bit. We talked a lot about the offense. We talked a little bit about defense as far as Kayvon goes. I mean, to be honest with you, even though obviously the offense always gets the most credit when you make a huge comeback because he scored 31 points in a half, but the defense held up strong. They only gave up 8 they gave up 8 points in the second half, a
Yeah.
touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and I believe that was the first drive Arizona had in the second half, and other than that, nothing at all.
I
They were
think it
forcing
was
touchdowns.
3 or 4 straight 3-and-outs that
Right.
our defense
So
caused.
they definitely deserve credit for the comeback because obviously if they scored any more points, the Giants wouldn't have won that game, even if they scored 31 points. So props to them. But to be honest with you, I'm not very ecstatic about the defense at all. We can't
I
get a
agree.
sack. We supposedly have a top 5 win rate in the NFL, pass rush win rate in the NFL, which I think is baloney because every time we watch them, we saw together in this game, they couldn't get any pressure. Like Dobbs was so comfortable in the pocket. I want to know where we're getting our pass rush win rate from because we couldn't sack the quarterback once. I know sacks aren't everything, but you would think if we're top 5 in win rate, we'll have at least one.
Listen, I don't care. Not just the sacks. We might be top 5 in win rate. You look at Dallas game and the Cardinals game and tell me if you think they got any pressure on that quarterback.
Yeah,
Only the
yeah.
quarterback. It looked like we got no pressures.
Yeah, I know. And then like going even back to the Dallas game, Dak was cool, calm, and under pressure. How the hell did we have a top 5 pass rush win rate? I mean, Kayvon was being thrown everywhere. And I'm sorry. I know we got to talk about our boy. Okay. Where the hell is Dexter Lawrence? Where the hell is Leo?
You know what's funny though? I can't even put too much blame on both of them because did we forget Wink Martindale summoned them out literally every other drive?
That's another thing too.
That's that. I'm not gonna blame them, man. Wink literally had them out on 3 of the scoring drives, and you'd think Wink, when the Cardinals are in the red zone, you'd have them in there if they keep scoring with them out.
At least 3 scoring drives. The Cardinals scored 4 times, 3 in the first half, 1 in the second half. I don't remember in the second half that they were on the field, but in the 3 first half scores, Dexter Lawrence and Leo were not on the field for whatever reason. Why is DJ Davidson and Nacho on the field at the 3-yard line when they're about to punch it in for a score? Why? What was the mindset around that? Load management mid-game, you've got to be out your mind. And I don't even think that's a Wink thing. I think that's a Brian Daboll. I don't know. Because at the end of the day, Brian Daboll makes those executive decisions to have load management and who gets playing time or whatever.
I don't think it was load management. I think it was a Wink thing because we saw Brian Daboll on the sideline literally said, "Damn it, Wink," a couple times during the game.
And on top of that, why do you have Jordan Riley as a healthy scratch when the guy has already a tackle for loss in that Dallas game, played decently, and you healthy scratch him for DJ Davidson? What are we trying to, what is this, a preseason game where we're just trying to evaluate our players against an Arizona Cardinals team that almost beat us? I don't understand that at all. But to be honest with you, when Dexter Lawrence is on the field, yeah, he makes plays because he's Dexter Lawrence, but I haven't seen that Dexter Lawrence of last year yet. I haven't seen that. Leo is non-existent. Kayvon, non-existent. Azeez is hurt. What else is new? And so that's really been pissing me off. Listen, we thought we can get away from O'Shane Ximines. We thought we got rid of Ziminy Crickets. And he gets signed back onto the roster and gets playing time. What is this? Why am I still seeing him on the field? I'm going to lose my voice again. Why am I still seeing Ziminy Cricket still on the field? We got to stay healthy. Azeez, we got
my boy Azeez is Ziminy Crickets right now, bro.
We got to do better, Azeez, bro. What are you doing? Why are you always injuring your hamstring? It's always his hamstring. Oh my God. And I know hamstrings are bad injuries. I was actually nursing a freaking hamstring injury before I went on vacation. But I mean, obviously I'm not an athlete like they are, but yeah, it is a nagging injury, but you know your limits. Why do these guys push themselves and get themselves hurt? Like Saquon better not be out there. I don't think he's going to play next week either. I don't think he should because he's dealing with an ankle injury. Those tend to stay around for quite a bit as well. You use a lot of your ankles when playing this sport. So I don't know, man. Azeez, I don't know. Like I said, the defense, not impressive. Bobby Okereke, not impressive. Micah McFadden, as much as I love him, not impressive. The corners, the only good thing to take away from this, why is the only good thing to take away from this is the 2 rookie corners who a lot of people thought was going to be the Achilles heel of this team.
And they're playing like veterans.
And they're playing like the best guys on the field, which I love, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a negative thing that our 2 rookie corners are out there balling, but everybody else has to play their part. Xavier McKinney wants a contract. He ain't gonna get it at this point. If he gets steamrolled by Josh Dobbs in the end zone, why did you let that happen? Why does Josh Dobbs steamroll you into the end zone? I have the highlights. It's the first video of the damn video I made. Just getting demolished into the end zone by a guy that looks like a stick with no hair. I don't understand it, man.
I just want to go back and emphasize the fact that our 2 rookie corners are the best part of this defense, and it's our 2 rookie corners, man.
Yeah.
Make that make sense.
I don't know the exact.
The most difficult position to translate to the NFL, KB, and they look better than everybody else.
Exactly. What was the biggest thing we always talked about as far as like what's going to be the thing holding this team back? Always we talked about the offensive line and those 2 rookie corners that they wound up starting, and they've been playing out of their mind. They've been playing. Trey Hawkins almost had himself an interception. He actually had it. He just couldn't. The momentum, and he fell to the ground and it popped.
And it was better that he didn't have it because we would have got the ball like a 5 or 10 or something.
Yeah, good point. Good point. It was better that he didn't have it as well. So that's fine. And I don't know the exact stats. I don't know how many catches they gave up. It wasn't a lot because a lot of the majority of these of the passes that were thrown that were completed were through the middle of the field. Zach Ertz kind of bullied us a lot. Michael Wilson had us on a couple sideline plays, but I don't know the exact stats. But as far as PFF goes, Trey Hawkins was top 5, one of the top 5 Giants graded in that game. I believe I don't even remember all the damn people who were graded on there. I think John Michael Schmitz was one of them. I could look it up real quick. PFF Giants. But I know Trey Hawkins was in there. Shit. Okay. Highest graded Giants versus the Cardinals. Daniel Jones, 92.5. If he had a 92.5, why was he on the top 5 or like the top quarterback? That's weird. I think Tua won top quarterback, and did he have like a 90 or something like that? I don't know. Anyway,
Well, you could argue that DJ was Rob NFC Offensive Player of the Week as well, but like that's a whole lot of competition.
Who won that?
I think it was DeAndre Swift, I want to say.
Oh my God.
Off the top of my head, I could be wrong.
Yeah, so Daniel Jones, 92.5 grade. Like I said, take these with a grain of salt because I don't like PFF. But it's more of an evidence more than a proof. Dexter Lawrence, 86.5. I'm gonna just take their word for it because I didn't notice Dexter Lawrence, but like 1 tackle for loss. Trey Hawkins was at a 78.4, impressive. Darren Waller, 75.9. Leonard Williams at 73.4. Don't know. Those are ghost reps because I did not see this man on the field. And Darius Slayton at 70.9. Man, real quick, the wide receivers, man. I'm so proud of these wide receivers, bro. Like they're playing like a great group, mate, right now. Like Paris Campbell is being used when he needs. He's mostly used on those RPOs, on those quick game. That's really where he's mostly used. Darius Slayton is catching everything. He almost had an insane catch that would have been down at the 1 if it was like maybe a foot to the left, and he would have been able to get that other foot down. That would have been awesome. Darius Slayton played great, was 3 for 63, and then Jalen Hyatt, 2 receptions, 89 yards, and really pretty much started the momentum for this team to keep moving the ball downfield. I mean, that was the biggest play we had all season. That was the biggest play, and that was like 50 yards? Something
50, around that? 53. No, 58.
58 yarder.
Yeah.
And I wish I could like show film here, but StreamYard is really difficult with that stuff. But so what it was that play that I always talk about. It was that Yankee play where you have the post up top and the over route underneath. The Giants in years past have always ran that over route with Darius Slayton there on the over, and they always went to him. Look back at that Green Bay game, games like that. You saw a lot of that. And then you have somebody is fast that just takes the top off in that post, and you don't throw that post. You just never throw that post. And the Giants haven't thrown that post. I want to say probably maybe once or twice they've thrown the post in all of since Brian Dable's been the coach. And the Cardinals did not expect, for whatever reason, even though it was Jalen freaking Hyatt, Cardinals did not expect Daniel Jones to throw that post because they probably recognized that play and thought it was going to go the over route. The safety in the middle, they're playing quarters defense. Safety in the middle took Darren Waller underneath. And Jalen Hyatt, you know what I love about Hyatt? He's fast. Don't get me wrong. Man is fast. But he knows how to get past you. He uses his smarts to get past you. He just doesn't run by you. If you notice,
it's also his style of running. He doesn't look like he's running fast, and the corners don't think he's going fast because he looks like he's jogging.
You know what he is? He's a gazelle. That's my nickname for him. You know, you get the cheetah or whatever, but he's a gazelle because he glides through the air so perfectly, nimble and all that stuff. So what he did, it was so smart watching it on film. I don't know if anybody else noticed. He goes upfield and takes that inside shoulder and works that corner, stacks him, and makes it seem like, uses body language to makes it seem like that he's going to hit a corner route. He doesn't even make a fake cut. He just kind of uses his shoulders to lean towards the sideline like he's going to make a corner route. And he just breaks inside, and it makes so much yardage separation there. If you guys go back, you guys will know what I'm talking about. If you guys look back at that Jalen Hyatt play, he sells that in. He goes inside and puts his shoulder outside to make it look like he's running a corner route and just hard breaks inside, back inside for that post route. And it was great. So Jalen Hyatt just doesn't run by you. He uses his wits, his smarts to get by you as well. And on top of that, that second play to give him a whole 89 yards on 2 receptions, he just mosses a guy. And that's obviously what you're seeing here against Clark here, the rookie on rookie action. Um, just going up and get the ball. That's just awesome, man. Awesome to see. But yeah, Jalen Hyatt, man, was great out there, and he's honestly been used the same exactly what I thought he was going to be used as in his rookie season. Just a guy to come out there a couple of times, but be really impactful. He only had like 13 snaps on offense, and I believe in those 13 snaps, Daniel Jones was like 8 of 11 or something like that, and like 140 something yards. So the impact that Jalen Hyatt has is on the defense is some, like, he doesn't need to have the ball to have it impacted. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, I hear you. I guess it will be time to get to the next topic.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on on this, but here's the next topic. All right, so our good friend of the show, our good buddy Justin Panic. I don't have the video here because I don't know how they would feel about me posting their whole video on here, but I could have done it. It's like 3 minutes long or so. Justin made a fantastic video. Even WFAN went on, like Tiki Barber went out there.
Yeah, they gave him
They gave him
love,
props
man.
for it, and I think that's awesome to see. So shout out to Justin Panic, friend of the show. I love that guy. And it's funny. He went through the entire game. He went through on his NFL Game Pass and went through the entire game to look for any B-roll, any snapshot, any shots at all. I'm losing my voice again. Of them panning to Brian Dable and Mike Kafka. Do you know how long and tedious that has to be? I would never do that. My writer's block would get a hold of me, and I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm doing this. There's no way I'm wasting this much time. My writer's block would take over, and I'll be like, forget it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So quit asking.
Oh yeah.
Then Nick
I know what I'm about. Yeah.
I'm not. So quit asking. But yeah, he went through it, and he came. I want you guys to watch the video because it was a great video. But he came to the conclusion, and I didn't think Justin would say this. He came to the conclusion that Brian Dable was in fact calling plays on Sunday, and Dable was lying. And listen, people need to realize: do not take what a coach says at face value to the press.
He's never gonna throw his guy under the bus.
Not only that, they just not going to tell you the truth at all or what they're going to do. Dave Gettleman lied to us plenty of times. Joe Judge has lied to us. Brian Dable has obviously lied to us as far as injuries go and stuff like that. He's not going to tell anybody the truth, and he doesn't care. He's not obligated to tell us the truth. Besides, I mean, you can just say tisk. You told a fib, but he's not going to say that. But the man was obviously calling plays on Sunday, and I don't think it was just at halftime. I think it was the whole game. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, no, it was. That's what he said. He had the play sheet the entire game. It still looked like Mac. Listen, when you look back at which is what sold me on it. When you look back at Dallas, he didn't have a play sheet at all.
Yeah,
I think he came into this game prepared to call plays. Obviously, we don't know if he called it from the very beginning. Most likely. But, I guess my idealistic view on it, KB, is that he came in prepared to call plays with the sheet, and maybe he was kind of like supervising, micromanaging Kafka's plays, and then at one point he did fully take over. But whatever the case was, he did something at halftime that got this team going.
Yeah, so it was great. As far as Dable goes, I'm trying to read the chat here, but as far as Dable goes, man, now do you think? We've already established more likely than not, he's calling plays. Do you think, first, 2 questions, a 2-parter. First, do you think he actually continues to call plays? Second, do you want him to continue to call plays?
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes. Yeah,
Yes and
I
yes.
figured it wouldn't be too much of a
Listen,
conversation.
you know why,
Yo,
KB?
Big Mike Cat,
Let's
get ready to learn Chinese, buddy. Get
no.
ready to read an XFL
Get
playbook, buddy.
get ready to learn French Canadian, buddy. You're going to the CFL.
You're
All
playing with the
right?
Montreal Alouettes now,
Because
buddy.
guess what? The XFL and USFL are combining. I'm getting my
Right,
wish, and what
right.
a lot of other people wish. Just combine the leagues, have like a legit minor league football. I hope that's the next step. The NFL brings them in as like a legit minor league. That's a whole other discussion. You're going to the CFL. This is why it's yes and yes to both questions, KB. Because even if we go all the way back to last year, back before the season started, along with, it's not just me, a lot of other people, we were kind of concerned when Dable said he wasn't going to be calling plays. It would be Mike Kafka, because it's like, Dable, we know you're brilliant and all of that, but the reason we hired you is because that amazing Buffalo versus Kansas City game where the offense was just off the charts, and our offense at that time,
he was our coach.
yeah, and our offense at that time was like a stick in the mud. Yeah. So it's like, Dable, why aren't you calling the plays, man? Like, what's going on here?
Quite
and then even then, when we were winning last year, KB, I came on this show a lot of times. This is back when my channel was a lot more active. Obviously, I made my own videos about it, had my own streams about it, where I was like, Mike Kafka is making the same mistakes with either abandoning the game plan too early, not running the ball enough, or just not incorporating certain players. And we won, so it wasn't really a big thing, but it was there. The problems that are in week 1 and week 2 have been there since last year. And I think teams just adjusted, KB, to last year. And guess what? You need Brian Dable to come in and literally just kind of make his own adjustments and save the offense. That's what it is. Kafka, another reason that this is a big thing why I want Dable calling is because Kafka didn't call plays both last year and this year. And I brought this up before the season began, that helped out Evan Neal. We know Evan Neal is struggling. Last year, you're calling plays that doesn't give him a little bit of extra protection or vertical sets where he clearly is struggling and he hasn't mastered that yet. No, so he's going to get beat. And we saw that in the first 1.5 games. And it's like, I feel like that's a very important part that needs to be taken into account too. Now, he's not going anywhere, unfortunately. Shout out to Ash. He's came on and he's kind of ranted on this point before, where it's like, if there's one thing he doesn't necessarily like about Dable is that he's always going to protect his boys and not let them go. And if there's one thing you're going to give Joe Judge credit on is that he wasn't afraid to fire people and let them go. Like, Bobby Johnson is somebody I've always looked sideways at. And I feel like, honestly, he's not a good offensive line coach. And I feel like if we had a good offensive line coach, Evan Neal would be developing. And then now you look at Mike Kafka. I'm not calling for him to be fired because he obviously has a way larger leash, KB. I think you could agree, than Bobby Johnson. But it's like, even if we were in a position where you would want to fire Kafka, I don't think it would happen just because Dable looks like he protects his guys a little too much. But that's a whole lot of conversation, though, that I just went into that tangent of.
Yeah. This one's pretty open and shut. I just wanted to kind of like use that as a topic because it has been a topic conversation so far this week ever since the game ended, because a lot of people have noticed that him with the play call sheet and something that he hasn't really had in games past. I would have to go back to last year, but I'm not doing that shit. I'll just ask, maybe I'll ask Justin to go back to last year to see if he done it. But yeah, it's very clear that he's calling plays, and I would like it to remain so. Now let's keep in mind that first half of football was probably Brian Dable too, so he probably adjusted his own game plan. So that's something to note. But let's move on to the next topic, and this is when I actually have a topic intro for.
Fake the handoff to Barkley. He's going to run left. Jones to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Daniel Jones. Their first points of the season on a Jones 14-yard touchdown run. Jones empty set. Takes the snap, back to throw. Zips one into the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown Giants. The Giants have done it. It's their first comeback win of 21 or more points since 1949 against the Chicago Cardinals. The final score, the Giants 31 and Arizona 28.
So now we had a big discussion about Daniel Jones in the live stream. We had some Daniel Jones lover boys out there. And you know what's crazy? I think I used to consider myself one as well. Just I had utmost hope for him. Now I'm so far from a Daniel Jones hater as well. but it really brings me to this.
Shout out to the weird one and shout out to J Dimes in the chat,
Hey,
man. One
J
of the most
Dimes,
hilarious
what's
dudes on
good,
Twitter.
bro? Oh hell yeah, bro. My man's a menace, absolute menace, bro. But what's up, weird one? But like I said, I am definitely not. I kind of not a Daniel Jones lover boy like I used to be. I'm more so really agnostic about him. I do believe he's obviously our franchise quarterback. I believe in him as a franchise quarterback. But it really begs the question now because you can start making this conversation. Not that he actually is, but start talking about this because of what he did on Sunday after playing like ass. Um, do you think Daniel Jones should be considered as a top 10 quarterback? Now, there are a lot of quarterbacks who are considered to be in that top 10 right now who also are not playing well. So, does he fit himself in there? Is the question. Is he still around like 12th, like what we had him before? And
I
like,
was gonna say, like, it's not like we ever had him low. We
right,
both had him top 15.
right.
And I think I've always said where he was paid, which is I think 12th or 13th highest in the league, is
Yeah.
right around where I think he is. Yeah, I still think it's not like he showed me anything that was so terrible I was gonna completely drop him a quote unquote ranking. He made mistakes that he cleared up last year, seemingly making them again in week 1 and week 2. Although in the second half, of course, they were gone. So it's like, I don't know. I think I have him at the same, man. I think it's very clear what Daniel Jones is, even though some people don't want to admit it. And this is not a bad thing. He is kind of a system quarterback. Like, he has talent. He has great talent. He has phenomenal arm talent, amazing accuracy when he has a clean pocket. I think he can be one of the best quarterbacks in the league when he has that clean pocket, and just that the quickness that shouldn't surprise people at this point, but continues to catch NFL teams off guard. But at the same time, it's clear that he needs a Brian Dable to bring out that best in him. So I feel like he's kind of a little bit of a system quarterback. That's not an insult. I don't think that's an insult. I think that's just what he is.
Yeah. One thing I will say though about Daniel Jones is that, especially for the lovers out there, listen, be happy. Like you shouldn't want to have an excuse for this guy. You shouldn't want to. And I think on Sunday it proved that he should not have excuses because constantly, time and time again, especially before he signed the contract, even we were saying it: offensive line, weapons, maybe even play calling in there. But you've seen in one half of football him lead this team with a banged up offensive line. This is probably the worst we've seen the offensive line in a while, as far as on paper. You have a 5th-round rookie who's coming off of a torn ACL. We have a 3rd-round draft pick in replacement of your all-pro tackle. We have a Evan Neal who is self-explanatory. And you have John Michael Schmitz, who's been all right, but still a rookie. And you have Ben Bredesen, who went down. They have to put in Mark Lewinsky, who just formally got benched. The entire offensive line has question marks there. And Daniel Jones went out there in the second half and put up 31 points on it. Doesn't matter what team it was. Arizona's garbage. We know this. 31 points in one half is pretty damn good with the offensive line you had. You should not be giving all these excuses for Daniel Jones that he doesn't have an offensive line when he put those type of numbers up there. So if you ask me, I think Daniel Jones, by the end of this season, from what I saw in the second half, he keeps playing like that or close to it. I think a lot of people are going to give him respect. You even got people like Nick Wright in mainstream media. Now, I don't think Daniel Jones is like top 8 right now. Apparently, what's his name? Greg Jennings does, the former Green Bay Packers receiver. He was on the show, whatever that Nick Wright show is. It's garbage. But I saw a quick little snippet that Nick Wright was giving Daniel Jones his flowers from that comeback win and actually like was starting to kind of entertain the conversation and allow the conversation of, is he a borderline top 10 quarterback? So I think a lot of people took away from this game that he has the ability to do something like this. A lot of people, that's been the big question with Daniel Jones. Does he have the ability with a bad offensive line, with not the best weapons out there, to go ahead and come back from being down a certain amount of points? Like, is Daniel Jones the type of quarterback that is going to lay down and just die when his team is down? Or is he going to be like another Eli and come back no matter what the circumstances are? And I think he's proved that he has the ability to do that. I think that's what people were just waiting on, to see him actually arrive. And Daniel Jones, to me, in this game, arrived. Let's see if he can maintain that. Let's see if he can go ahead against other teams. I don't know. I think inevitably he's going to look bad against the 49ers because they're just a team that's way far ahead than us. But we're going to see against teams like Seattle. We're going to see against teams like Miami. Washington is going to be a good test as well because they look pretty good this year. So
Sam Howell looks like he's going to be a franchise quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome. I can't believe that they got a freaking franchise quarterback. I mean, they deserve. I've learned to dislike Washington a lot more over the years because their fan base is kind of getting real toxic now. I cannot believe that they lucked out on a quarterback they drafted in the 5th round. I can't believe it. But Sam Howell, he was coming out of, no, that's another UNC guy coming out of UNC. Probably shouldn't have been drafted in the 5th round, but he was, and they lucked out and they got themselves a franchise quarterback. But they probably deserve it because they've had they swung and missed on so many quarterbacks in the past, and it just hasn't worked out. The most notable, like Kirk Cousins, they weren't able to maintain him. So that's the only like good quarterback who's been there in the last couple of years. So whatever. That being said, let's address some of you guys' comments. I gotta get better reading at them. Kyle Shanahan said he made a mistake using CMC so much in that Rams game, so he might not play him that much tomorrow. They might give Elijah Mitchell a lot of reps.
You guys know I'm a huge fan of Elijah Mitchell, man. I wanted us to draft him. Now that the 49ers have CMC, I know we're playing them this week, but can we call them up for Eli Mitchell, bro? Like, I don't know if this is where we talk about the running back group, but come on, bro. We need somebody. Cam Akers just got traded to the Vikings, so that goes one person off the market. I'd be open. I love Elijah Mitchell, young guy. Is this where we talk about a KB, our running back group, or is it somewhere else? Is there
not in particular, but we can mix it in with
I'm gonna mix it in right now.
Here. Yeah, we're gonna mix it in with the major injuries right now because obviously Saquon is a part of that. So
yeah,
gotta talk about the running backs,
guys. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Saquon, I want him to sit out 3 to 4 weeks, and I know it sounds crazy because it's very clear that we're not winning.
Healthy. Yeah, I want him back healthy. We have a bad.
We're not winning without him,
but still.
With him out, we are not winning. That's just how clear it is. Or without a positive and efficient running game, we're not winning. And we can get that. Now, at the same time, I don't want to risk Saquon's health at all. Because of what KB said earlier, we could be one of the worst teams in the NFL, but we also have a chance to be one of the best teams in the NFL. Because we have the talent, but we got to make sure that we get the remaining pieces correctly and do everything correctly. Let Saquon sit out for a month. They say it's 3 weeks. Let him sit out for an extra week, bro. It's not going to hurt nobody except you if he comes back and gets hurt.
Coming up, like we have a tough
exactly.
Let's try to make sure we win the games we're supposed to win.
So why are we not hitting up Kareem Hunt? Shout out to Asia, man. Why are we not hitting up Kareem Hunt, who immediately got contacted by the Browns when Nick Chubb went down, and now he's back with the Browns? Why are we not contacting the Rams to see what they want for Cam Akers, and now he's going to the Vikings? Elijah Mitchell is just a name that popped in my head because he's not the running back one in San Fran anymore. And he's a great, talented young running back. Now you look out there and it's like, all right, who is there left? Like I threw out Cordell Patterson, but I haven't really heard his name in like a year or so at the running back position. Maybe Tyler Algier, I don't know. So because John Robinson is finally coming on and Tyler Algier is only in his 2nd year, maybe you go out there and you sign somebody that's still a free agent like Leonard Fournette. But the reason I'm even saying all this is because I don't know about you guys, but I truly am not confident in our backup running backs. I'm not confident in Matt Breida. I really hope he could turn back the clock and have a 2017 Orleans Darkwood type of game against the Broncos. I don't see it happening. I wish it could happen. Currently not the biggest believer in Eric Ray. I of course want him to have a breakout game or something, but I just don't see it happening. I feel like we need to especially that point, not with this offensive line. Like let's go out there and get somebody, whether we got to trade like a 3rd or a 4th round pick. And I feel like we could get some of these dudes that I'm talking about, KB, for like a 4th. I feel like we could get Tyler Algier for a 4th. We could definitely get Cordero Patterson with whatever team, if he's still on the Falcons, for a 4th or less.
You know what's crazy? You are not crazy for saying that. And we have to get out of this mindset because you're cooking right now. We have to get out of this mindset. I can't talk. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah, take your time.
We have to get out of this mindset that, oh, that'll cost too much and he's too much. There's too much of a big time. Like Tyler Algier is still a good player. Like, he's still part of the Atlanta. Like, we might have to pay top dollar for him or like a 4th round pick. That may be too much for bro. You guys don't understand. Look at what Howie Roseman does, and he wins games and wins championships. Well, one championship, but he's gotten to the dance multiple times in the past couple of years, and is always in the playoffs. They are always part of it because they saying F them picks, and we're gonna use them smartly, like we did to get Darren Waller. We can still get
And
an
like we did to use
Algier.
Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, we can still get an Algier. I would love a Tyler Algier right now because here's the thing. People are
He's
gonna
literally
say,
in his 2nd year, and they already drafted his replacement, and Bijan
right,
just had his breakout game. They're not gonna use him going
right,
forward.
and people and you know, even when Saquon comes back, you can still have a
Yo,
1-2 punch
shout
there.
out Asia. We definitely missed you, Asia. It's been a minute, man. Love having you
We
back.
love, of course, Asia, we miss you, and I always appreciate and always get happy when you're in the comments. So hope you're doing well. But like I said, even if Saquon only missing one game though, I don't think so, Marjorie. I would hold him out for a month, as Kush said. It's an ankle
Just to be
injury.
safe.
I don't care how much Saquon says I heal quick. You know how many players say that? Do you know how many players say that on a weekly basis every single NFL season? I heal quick. I'm built different. I get it. But you are going to re-aggravate that injury. It's an ankle injury, similar to a hamstring. Those things nag you and they linger and they remain there for a while. Especially how much stress Saquon puts on his ankle. This is not his first ankle injury either. I don't know which ankle it was in particular. I don't think it matters. But I would hold out Saquon Barkley. Make sure he gets healthy. Trade for a Tyler Algier. We already missed out on Cam Akers. Can you look up real quick what the capital was for Cam Akers?
I got you. Let me look it up.
Because that can be pretty similar to what an Algier would demand. And on top of that, Algier was a late round pick. What round pick was Algier?
I thought he was undrafted.
Undrafted. Okay, even better. Undrafted. And Cam Akers was
I could have.
and what Cam
sworn he
Akers
was
was like a
undrafted. I might
second
be
rounder,
wrong.
wasn't he? Cam Akers was 52nd overall pick.
I don't know why Adam Schefter isn't giving me details. It just says a swap of 2026 picks. Not even this year or next year. 2026. 2026, KB.
Wow.
3
Wow.
years from now's picks.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
Because the running back position has been so undervalued.
3 years from now picks. I'm not seeing the exact picks, but it's a swap of 2026.
So Algier was a 5th rounder. Algier was a 5th rounder. Cam Akers.
Oh my God. Here it is. Rams are trading running back Cam Akers and a conditional 7th to the Minnesota Vikings for a conditional 6th. They got a starting young star running back for a 6th round pick. I don't want to hear anybody tell me that we can't get a Tyler Algier for a 4th because we're overpaying then.
Oh,
we should get him for a 6th.
That is amazing to hear, Asia. Your mom was definitely. I was about to ask about your mom as well because I know we've been talking about.
Shout
that
out to Asia's mom, man.
That is great to hear, man. That is prepares work. But as far as I would make that move, bro. You were cooking, bro, because I didn't even think about Algier, but like I know the Falcons probably want that 1-2 punch, but they're not going anywhere soon. They might want to just trade Algier and flip him because they already have Bijan Robinson. So, and he's going to be the workhorse guy over there. He's going to be like another Derrick Henry. They're not going to like use other, running back by committee BS. You know what I'm saying? So,
bro, I can't believe that they just got Cam Akers for a 6th. That's actually making me mad, bro.
Yeah.
A 6th in 2026, guys. In 2026.
That's 2 years from now. 3 drafts from now.
That's a 12th round pick.
That is 3.
That's a 12th round pick, bro. They got Cam Akers for a 12th round pick. Let's keep it real.
3 drafts from now. It's crazy.
Oh my God, bro. Come on,
he
man.
came back early on his high ankle sprain. Was not 100%. So I agree, but I think he's coming back home against.
Even hear me out, Asia.
I don't think they should though.
Hear me out, Asia. Even if he is healthy, my point remains of I don't trust anybody behind Saquon. Why not have a good 1-2 punch?
Yeah.
When
That's the
Saquon,
thing.
because you still have to take Saquon out to give him rest for him to last throughout the season.
Yeah,
We saw that last year.
that was a
We don't
thing
have a
that
good second punch.
that's why it's an even better move, because I think that trade is going to work even better when Saquon comes back. Not only are we trading for Algier before he comes, I might even make a video about that. Before, not only will we use Algier before Saquon comes back and he'll be our main back, but when he comes back, he's gonna be used as 1-2 punch, similar to what the Falcons are doing with Algier right now, and it's gonna be better than Breida doesn't even get any snaps. Breida's
That's
there
the
for no
hilarious part.
reason. Breida's and then we can
No,
just
I'm really mad Kent Makers went for a 12th round pick, bro. Because now I could think of other running backs that are in similar situations that would
yeah.
a
And
sixth in
honestly,
2026 is crazy.
honestly, what I would do, I like Gary Brightwell. I like Gary Brightwell right now more than Eric Gray, but I know Eric Gray is the most recent draft pick, but they will have
Yeah.
to cut Gary Brightwell and bring him onto the practice squad and promote him for special team stuff. But you can easily do that. You don't let Eric Gray or Gary Brightwell keep you from trading for an Algier, so you don't have any
Currently,
problems with
I
Gray.
don't, Marjorie. Currently, I
Zero.
don't.
Zero, Marjorie. The reason why is because Garrett Gray is not a terrible player. Don't get me wrong. Our offensive line is not built for his style of play. He's a one cut, inside zone running back who is not going to find his own holes and dance around because he doesn't have the burst to burst through the holes. He's very similar to like an Andre Williams type guy. Okay. Andre Williams couldn't cut the way he does, but Eric Gray does not have the burst to dance behind the offensive line, wait for a hole to open up because the offensive linemen are freaking going around everywhere. It's chaos. If you guys watch the film, I watched the film, even against Arizona with a bad defensive line. It was absolute chaos. That offensive line didn't when they were run blocking, it was not organized. They were just fighting for their lives. That is not an offensive line that a Gray could run behind. He doesn't have the speed to kind of help out the offensive lineman. He's going to be caught looking for a hole, and when he finds one and tries to burst, we saw it in the preseason. Where he goes and makes that one cut, tries to burst through the hole, burst through the gap, and does not have the speed to get past the defenders. That's the problem I have with Eric Gray. He's not bad. He was really good in Oklahoma, but he's
Yeah, I
just
don't.
not.
I'm not. No hate on Eric Gray. I think maybe he could be somebody in like a good rotational piece in like 2-3 years, but not right now. Hence, going back to if the Cam Makers went for a 6th round pick in 2026,
Yeah, we
aka a
saw that
12
weird
round
one.
pick, we can 100% get Tyler Algier for like a 6th round pick any year. Just take your pick, Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Other injuries, because this is the injury topic, and we'll have to speed run through this because we got one more. We got to talk about the Niners game. But more injuries. Obviously, Andrew Thomas was already ruled out. He ain't coming back. He's got that. If he believes another, he's got a hamstring injury too, which scares me because hamstrings, like I said, is probably like the worst curse of an injury in a season because they will linger throughout the whole entire season, and it's so easy to snap. And then we have Saquon already ruled out. Aziz ruled out with also a hamstring injury. And then escaping me the last injury. Do you remember? Escaping me is the last injury.
Saquon, Thomas, Aziz.
One more.
There's one more.
God, how did I escape my mind?
Chat.
Giants rule out.
Chat. Who's the last person? Oh, Bredesen, the concussion.
Ben Bredesen. Okay, concussion. All right, good job.
Yeah.
Thanks, weird one. But yeah, Ben Bredesen. So those are 4 pivotal. We need those starters. 2 of them are on the offensive line. Okay, one of them is our starting running back who will run behind that offensive line. And then the other one is an edge rusher who I think
Hasn't done anything.
I will always hold out hope for, but will always disappoint me. We never stay healthy. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, that's every team. I mean, you're gonna have injuries. Never think that you're gonna go through a whole entire season with your entire roster ready to go, all the time. you're gonna have injuries. This is football. But honestly, we've been relatively healthy throughout this season so far, so I'm happy with that. We haven't had anybody out for the year yet that's of like really particular um that's gonna have a significant role this season. We haven't had that yet, which in years past we've always at this point had guys to go out for the year that we're gonna take a big part of this roster up. But yeah, that's major injuries, major injuries. All right, so let's talk about this game against tomorrow, man. Like I didn't even have time to do a film. I watched half of I think a good bit of the offensive film, and I was gonna make a video. I don't have time. The game's tomorrow. Then the next game's tomorrow. So unfortunately, I won't be able to make any content there. But
I guess this is where we go back up to the super chat earlier, because now we're finally there.
yeah, yeah.
If you could
So
get it.
let me see if I can find it. Yeah. So you think we have a chance to get the 9? I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you talk first, because I don't think we're on the same page. I don't think. I think.
Really? Okay. Yeah, no, we have a chance against the Niners. I think we have a chance every Sunday or Thursday or Monday or whatever
Any
day
given.
slash night it is. We have a chance against them. Um, it's just not a good chance. Uh, we're missing 4 starters, as KB is saying, and even with those first 4 starters, we've struggled tremendously throughout 2 games in the season. The 49ers have this one guy. I don't know if you guys heard of him. His name is Nick Bosa. He just got like the highest paid
Defensive
defensive
player of all
contract
time.
in NFL history. And he's going to be going up against Josh Azudu at left tackle and Evan Neal at right tackle. And it's not going to be a good time. It's not going to be a good time. It's going to be very, 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 very difficult for us to come out with a win here. And I saw somebody else ask this, and I will answer 100% yes to that question. If somehow, some way we keep it close with the Niners, they asked, are we a good team? Well, yeah. If we keep it close with the Niners, yeah, we're a good team. And I have a lot of faith for the rest of the season.
The line's at 10.5. And
this game is
if we
literally,
can keep it between 10.5, I will be happy.
if we can, I'll say this right now. If we can keep Nick Bosa under 3 sacks, and I know that sounds crazy because if he gets close to 3 sacks, it's like that's terrible.
That's crazy.
But if we could keep him under 3 sacks, I think we could keep this game close. I'm like so serious. I'm so serious. If we could somehow find a way to protect DJ and extend plays so that he could get the ball to the wide receivers, because the run game is going to be non-existent, we may have a chance. But then you go into our defensive side and you got Kayvon Thibodeau and Jihad Ward going up against Trent Williams and that O-line, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. And CMC, even if he's not going to be, if he's playing like 50% of snaps, it's like, it's going to be really tough, guys.
Yeah,
I think if we were fully healthy, I would 100%. Yeah, there's that guy too. I think if we were fully healthy, I would 100% say, yeah, we have a better shot, obviously. But I would say with confidence, I think we could keep the game close. But I was talking with KB last week about this and before the stream. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really think that if we lose this game, nobody should take it too seriously. And I think that you should look to being like 2-2 after week 4, because I think our bounce back game should be against the Seahawks, who just looked amazing, by the way, against the Lions. But we'll see. We'll see.
That's improvement.
We might get 40-0 again. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, this is gonna be tough, man.
Yeah, the reason why I said that we're not on the same page is because you said we have a small chance. I say we have no chance. I say our chance is literally at 0. I think the line's at 10.5, and I don't think we cover that. I don't think we cover that spread, and I think it's a lock that we don't cover that spread, even though it's a big spread. I think the Giants are just not there yet, man. And as much as I think Brock Purdy is like a whatever quarterback, like you watch Brock Purdy, he's not impressive at all. He's good at throwing open routes. Like they get open. They have good scheming. They run the ball really well, opens up the pass. I don't think Brock Purdy's anything special, but that system that he's in works really well for him. CMC, Elijah Mitchell, whoever they have in that running back room, they always have a good rotation, is going to – oh, crap.
What just happened?
I kicked my damn camera on my wire. Hold on. Hello. There we go. That rotation of running backs. They always have a good rotation of running backs, and they run the ball really well. And on top of that, they have freaking Christian McCaffrey, who's the best running back in football. Um, and then you got, I mean, George Kittle hasn't been doing anything this year, right?
Not so far, but it's like
Yeah.
2 weeks in.
Ayuk may not play. I think that's what I saw in the comments, and I know he is on the injury report because I seen. I think one of my buddies has him on fantasy. I saw him have the Q next to his name. So, Ayuk, if Ayuk doesn't play, we have a really good chance too. Then we have to see how we fare up against Debo. But the defense is what really concerns me, and that's what Marjorie says as well. My concern is the defense is going. I think is going to be their offense. I think that the 49ers defense is going to act as an offense for them because they're going to be
Oh man.
literally impenetrable in my honest opinion. I don't know what their front seven, I mean what their secondary is looking like right now. Let me see. 49ers
No way. Oh, this is crazy, bro. This is actually crazy. So you
what's
know how
that?
I talked about Elijah Mitchell as somebody that I want the Giants to draft, and like if you go on my channel, this is very much documented.
Yeah, I
I
seen that.
loved him coming out the draft, and I mocked him to us. Jerome Ford, I was like, I knew that name sounded familiar. I think in that same year I mocked him to us as well. Jerome Ford, or maybe the year
Dude,
before, who's now starting for the Browns.
you got an
I
eye
was
for
like, this is
RBs.
bro, I have an eye for RBs. I'm not gonna hold you because it's like 3 years in a row. I had James Robinson
Yeah,
that
you
year. He was
did.
undrafted in Jacksonville, and I said he was gonna be good, and the Giants should get him. Jerome Ford, same thing, and now he's getting his shot. But Elijah Mitchell was somebody I had my eye on too. I'm just saying, guys, late round running backs or undrafted running backs, bro. Like I could
Your
tell when
guy.
they're gonna be good,
Yeah,
bro.
that's your thing. That's your thing. But yeah, I looking at their our lads right now, looking at their roster, their depth chart, like it, bro. Talanoa Hafunga, whatever, he came up out of nowhere, but he's like one of the best safeties in football now. They still have to Sean Gibson. This man is still playing football. Holy moly, how old is this man? He's 33, bro. I feel like he's been in the league since like 2005, bro. I swear. Dude's been in the league forever. So Sean Gibson, he's been played with like every team as well. Who else do they have here? Talking about in their back in their front. I mean, secondary. Isaiah Oliver is with them now. I didn't know that. Okay.
Shout out to Sober Party.
Yeah. Diomador Lenore, another 5th-round pick. They have a really good defense, bro. And they have Cleveland Farrell. No way. They have Cleveland Farrell. That's funny. But yeah, their defense is ridiculous. And they have, oh my God, guys. Listen, you guys thought Nick Bosa was bad. How about you add Eric Armstead and Javon Hargrave to the mix with the rookie Drake Jackson? My God, not the rookie, he's a second-year player. Drake Jackson. Bro, you gotta be kidding me. Sober Party, what up? What up? What up? But yeah, I don't think we have a shot in hell to win this game. I think, all right, if I could predict the score, we're gonna wrap this up now. If I could predict the score, because there's not really X's and O's. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna get too technical with the X's and O's because they're just gonna whoop our ass. That's it. I don't know
If
what
they
you guys
don't, then great. If they don't, then great.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, see, the way we're gonna use our blocking scheme with Marcus McKeithen and Evan Neal and goddamn Josh Azuda at left tackle with no Andrew Thomas. This is what we're gonna do to them. Nah, I'm sorry. I cannot come up with a actual plan of how we're gonna win this game. I do not see it happening at all. Like I said, I think the 49ers defense is going to be their offense, and they are going to they're going to be absolutely impenetrable. So I'm sorry if you guys came here for some hope, but allow me to burst your bubble. So yeah, no shot in hell.
I don't necessarily disagree, man. So
yeah, but of course we will be live for the game. This will be on Cush's channel. We're gonna be live. Make sure you guys tune in. I'm always gonna put the links. I will be working with Bleacher Report tomorrow, both before the game and after the game. I'm gonna be on Bleacher Report, and then if you guys are early birds or not working or whatever, on Friday 1 p.m. I will be live on Bleacher Report talking about the game. Like I guess after they want me to talk about it after it as well. So yeah, be sure you guys catch me on there before and after the game, and then you guys can come into this to Cush's channel, and we are going to be watching the game together. And let's get whooped together, guys. You know.
I mean, listen, like I said, you call us negative Nancy's or whatever, man. If we somehow keep it, I will be cheering if we keep it within one score, bro. We don't got to win. I will be cheering.
If first of all, let's just say if they win the game, bro, forget it, bro. If they win the game, we're going to the fucking Super Bowl, okay? That's what I'm talking about. If we win this game with no Saquon or Andrew Thomas, we're going to the Super Bowl, and I will be the biggest like Giants fan, and I'll be the most delusional Giants fan in the world if we win this game. I will get down on my knees and bow, okay, to the great Giants. All right. John Feliciano revenge game.
Is he? He's not on the team anymore, is he?
Is he on the Niners? I believe he's on the Niners.
Oh,
no, revenge game.
He's
on the Niners. He's a starting center.
Okay.
Yeah, you see, like all our starting centers always go to the Niners. At Western Richburg did the same thing. Yeah, Marjorie, I'm gonna try to. My voice comes back. It's very shoddy. It's back right now, and then if I raise my voice, it's gone.
Steve, if they keep it close,
listen, Steve.
I don't care if they lose and they keep it close. If they keep it close, I'm gonna be so happy.
What are you drinking? What are you smoking, Steve? That we're gonna keep this game close. How on earth? We just squeaked out a win against the potential #1 overall pick in the league, bro. Like Caleb Williams is going to Arizona, and we squeaked out a win against them. We had to have an act of God himself to win that game. Okay. How do you think we have a chance? Like I said, if we beat the Niners, we're going to the Super Bowl. That's it. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no ways around it. But if we keep it close, let's stay realistic. If we keep it close but still win the game, we keep it between those 10.5 points. If the Giants cover the spread, I'll have a lot more optimism in the season. I'll keep it like that. I'll have a lot more optimism in the season because even when this schedule came out, even the high hopes I already have for this team, I already said this was going to be a loss. I already said that. I don't think this team does not match up well against us at all. So, I mean, for them, they match up well against us, but we don't match up well against them. So, hey, Steve, we are winning, bro. You know what? I love the energy, Steve. Love the energy. But yeah, quickly, any last thoughts before we wrap this up? I'm starving. I want to eat before I go to sleep.
Same here. And I gotta go to sleep too. I don't have any last thoughts, man. Just I'll try to get the stream up and running. Well, I will. I definitely should get it up and running by 8, and I'll see you guys there, man.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining in. A little bit of a slow day, but understandable. I know why. But that being said, guys, we out of here. Pray for Daniel Jones. How many hits he takes? Yeah, he's gonna be. That man's gonna be out for the count. All right, later, guys.